Hi everyone. Today we are going to see about Neoclassical period, that is from 660 to 798. So we are going to deal about Neoclassical period in this chapter. So Neo is New Classical period of enlightenment, age of reason, era of logical, which we are going to see about the enrichment of this chapter and also how this Neoclassical is being divided. In this period of time is divided into three parts: Restoration period, Augustine period, and the age of Johnson. So this how the neoclassical literature is divided into three parts. So neoclassical period is from 1660 to 1798. It deals about the emphasis, the reason, logical order, balanced individual, and Locke about restoration and everything. So in this period, we are going to see about the Enlightenment, that is Age of Reason, Troy of Whig parts, that Enlightenment, how it has been royally and revolutionary, and the King George III lost his control over how the period has been divided into many writers, model works, and about the ancient Rome, how this new classicism focused on grammar, spelling, and the population among the men. And you can see about the coffee house, it has been entered about the culture political life in London, where it has been newspaper could be read there for no charges, and the subscribable club that is meant in England. And it is the definition of neoclassical is writers of neoclassical period try to imitate the style of the Roman and Greeks, thus the combination. So neo is new, that is classical in the day of Roman life. So what is neoclassical period? So in this period you're going to see about the culture and also how the 18th century and the era of logical, how the writers had been take put in their main life with the timeline. You can see it has been judged with many parts and how it can be easily focused with the time, and mainly about the reasons how it has been lost with time in new generation. So in 1960 you can see it has been developed with political crisis and the death of Cromwell and restoration of the monarchy with Charles and invited to the return. So this how it has been destroyed by many manuscripts that has been held from important text. And the glorious revolution, you can see the deposit of the James II and the oranges of Williams and how it has been divided from 1700 and the death of John Dryden. So with the part of these cultures and the first English newspapers has been disclosed how it can be come to the 1970 and also with the other regions. So in 1748 the English writers has been enriched by poetic essays and electric crisis and moralist and other things. Okay, so this how the sixth edition of the publications have been discovered in 1775 with the French Revolution of the period of time with the most important control of the government. So what influences has been made is the Romanticism period begins with 1798 when Wordsworth publishes his lyrical ballad. So this is the main part of restoration period, and also in this you can see the urban language how it has been developed by classified and also the society of rational thoughts which can be included in many parts. So this how you can see the neoclassical period was split up into three stages, that is restoration period, Augustine period, the age of Johnson. So these are the most important part which can be mainly discovered with them with the Augustine age, that has been called the King George I and the Caesar, the mark important of Weigel and also the literature in English letters. So this how you can find the random famous writers with the age of Johnson, and the main thing which can be marked with the agents of romanticism and also period of American and French revolution, and the neoclassical writers were emotional, ungoverned, and became the restoration period. This the British king's restoration through the tone of restoration literature continued to appeal the heroic ideals of love and honor, particularly on stage in the heroic tragedy. So these works by Gulliver Travel by Jonathan Swift, The Rape of the Lock by Alexander Pope, The Truffle by Moliere, and these made the important parts of which it can be made through this. The neoclassical era is a literature brought through the stable, carefully followed, and also the parodically, which was a time of more careful, more appearance was valued and honestly. And this was a neoclassical literature, which you can see some of the types are parody, essay, satire, letters, fables, and monodrama, and rhyme, and other couplets, which was important and written in 1660. These characters with Augustine Age, Restoration period, and the age of Johnson made a big impact on the literature, which we can find out with the main characters how they have been throughout the English literature. The popular literature includes Jonathan Swift, and popular authors includes John Dryden and also John Milton and Jonathan Swift. How they divided into the history of neoclassical. The neoclassical age is the literature which you can find the Augustine period was enlightened by the age of this era that can be made through the ages of 1784, and this are the types of literature, that is parody, essay, satire, letters, fable, melodrama, rhythms, and with the couplets. You can find the literature how it has been divided and it has been conclusion in this part. So neoclassical thinkers have the emphasis to guide for the past, and the neoclassical also believed it could be discovered in the few parts which they have been expresses the universal truth. So we have a map and it tells about how it has been concluded with the era from neoclassical age. So in this age you can find how it has been divided and the main part with happy learning. Okay, so this is how we conclude. Thank you.